Okay, we got everything lined up. Looks like my gasket fell off. I just put a little RTV on the backside to kind of help hold it into place. I want to get lined up so we can get at least one starter bolt in there to hold it up. Okay. Son of a. Just add a little more. Okay. Very crowded part of the shop, so we'll just do with what we can. Hopefully I got this clocked right, where we won't really have to do a lot of heavy lifting. Just gotta line it up and send it home. Damn. A little too high. See if we can drop it just a skosh. Let's try that. Cardboard is on. Okay. Gasket fell off again. This is turning into a dance, let me tell you. You stay. It's not even that heavy of a gasket. Okay. Right at this, close to the height, but the angle's off. So just drop it down again a little bit. I'm gonna grab some starter bolts just so if we do get it lined up, we can at least get a bolt in, hold it in place. Good God. All right, someone keep a running tally how many times this falls before I even get it mated. I have to like Gorilla Glue it on or something. Before we get too far. Seems like the rear of the transmission could come up a little bit. I have just a small little jack for the job. And of course it's sprung all the way as high as it can go. So what I need to do is make a little flange around here and then just weld a nut or a bolt stem to it so I can run it with the impact. But as you can see, nothing's painted. I had every intent to paint it to make it look nice, but honestly, we're just running out of time. Like I said, it's getting to be springtime. I got to get this truck back on the road because we want to drive it. And no one's going to see underneath of it. No one's going to look at this dirty transmission and transfer case and be like, oh man, I wish it was painted. No. So we cleaned up a lot of stuff on it, so it looks somewhat decent. I have to knock off some bigger chunks still on the transmission, vacuum off some dirt and some galleys and stuff, but we'll get this put together. And like I said, the goal is to get this back underneath the truck and bolt it in by the end of today. That'd be great. We got a couple weekend trips coming up. We're gonna take a week off and go on a nice vacation with some friends. And it would be really nice to have the truck, like I said, at least have the transmission transfer case inside. Okay, so we're just gonna raise this up a bit. We got one at least somewhat started. There we go. We don't want to force it. We want to make sure that everything is lined up and it goes together smooth. Just like that. Got it connected. All right. So we'll get the rest of these bolts put in. Got some Loctite I'm going to throw on there. I'm not looking forward to putting this back on the jack and trying to set it back in the truck. Saying this thing is heavy is an understatement. It is just, I don't even know what you want to call it. It's just very super heavy. We do need to go through all of our part boxes. The vent tube was broken off, and if I didn't order one, we might have to run into town today and go get one. I do want to make sure I put at least something there. It doesn't need to be big or anything. I don't ever plan on submerging this truck that deep. But I mean, in the event it does happen, it'd be good to have. Loctite on that bolt? I do not. I should be using red Loctite, but I used the last of it on the transfer case, so blue Loctite will be just fine. It's not in no high heat area. What in the world? Well, there's a big engineering flaw. I'll have to get the wrench on that one. It's right next to the case. You can't get a socket on it. There should be one more down there at the bottom. Yeah, the cool thing about this transfer case is it actually uses oil. Not even like a gear oil or transmission fluid, just a 30 weight oil. Or at least that's what owner's manual says, and yeah, we have the 1978 owner's manual. A lot of cool stuff. I'll show you here in a little bit. Yeah, just fill it up with 30 weight. So I'll probably find like a nice I don't know if I'm just gonna go straight standard 30 weight or put like a 530 in there. We don't want to do any detergent cleanings or any of those synthetic oils and stuff. I mean, this is old. It needs straight dinosaur juice from the earth. Torque. All right, everything is bolted into place. Just go around and snug them. I will get a torque wrench and torque these. I have a torque spec. Why not use the torque spec? That's what I always say. If I didn't have a torque spec, yeah, I would run them down what I feel is tight. About a quarter turn till it snaps. That's about the sweet spot. I'm gonna go grab a wrench. I mean, everything I do in here you can do with a set of hand tools. I mean, ratchets and stuff are great, but a set of wrenches, screwdrivers, pliers, everything, you can do a lot. Takes longer, but it's really the very bare minimum of all you need. Torqued. 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 You guys get the idea. Just right at that sweet spot. Oh, looks like there's room for one more bolt. Let's see if I can find it. There it is. Every now and then I put stuff together and I still have some spare parts. Guess that means I'm smarter than the engineer. I needed less parts to make it work. But it's usually like random brackets and stuff. There's a bracket on my truck that I still have no idea where it came from. I took the whole front end of the truck apart, did a steering gear, power steering, basically all new steering components, and for the life of me, I have no idea where this bracket went, but truck's been running fine and the truck's been steering great. Did donuts in the snow the other day with it and not even a hiccup. So, I don't know, but needless to say, it's still on the parts rack in case I do find out where it goes. I might put it on, but for now, torqued. All right, it's together. Now we gotta slide it over that way, about 8 feet. Somehow finagle it underneath of the truck again. I know this will have to come back out, our dipstick tube. And hopefully all the fluid that spilled out the first time when I took it out will leave enough headspace to not fill out any more fluid putting it back in. But, all right, we'll put you down and we'll get this situated under the truck and then we'll start rolling again. Okay, for those of you wondering how I got it moved from over here to over there, this is what I came up with. Like I said, I'm a lone wolf today. So we have our floor jack with my transmission jack adapter that is custom made, and a ratchet strap around the torque converter attached to the cherry picker. The way it works is kind of like a trailer. I'm able to pull the cherry picker and the jack follows. And as you can see, transmission is facing the wrong way. And we are in tight quarters, guys. Tight quarters. So I think what I'm going to do is just get it down on the ground and just slide it on the concrete. I have a piece of wood I'll put under the pan, and we'll get it turned around. We'll take that dipstick tube out, and we'll get it slid under the truck, and then we will sit and ponder life on why I chose to do this, and then try to get it back on top of the jack and then lift it back into the truck. Oh yeah, and one thing I forgot to show you guys. Can't believe no one called me out on it. The shifter. I went ahead and mounted the shifter. It bolts in right to the back along with the transfer case. Went through an adjustment to adjust these. There's a little hole right here. You can stick a drill bit through this shifter and the shifter in the back. They all line up. You put a drill bit in there, and that is neutral, and that is where you do your adjustments. And I already went through. Looks like everything's kind of moving pretty good, but once we get it in the truck, we'll really see if I put it back together right, honestly. So let's get this on the ground, flipped around, and get it underneath the truck. Okay, I got video set up. Not quite sure how much you can see, but it's probably more than me. So I have the transfer case and transmission situated as sketchy as possible. I have this little spare tire jack, my small low profile jack, my 3-ton jack, all working in unison to raise this whole entire thing up. We have our transmission transfer case mount right here. We have bolts right here, same on the other side. So right now we just got to close this gap, line up our bolts, bolt it in, and it should be good to go. A lot easier said than done. So you guys can watch me and see if I'm going to tip this thing off of all 3 of these jacks and make a huge mess or break my arm. Now this is a good time to have friends. Okay, so as I move this, we can see it starting to tilt that way. That's where the low profile jack comes in. I should have just took this drive shaft off. Okay, I'm gonna have to go around. It's all a balancing act. I mean, that transfer case is so much extra weight. Just jack up a little bit at a time. Starting to get level. Nowhere near close on this side. So we might have to try to maneuver it, but I'd really like to get some bolts in. So this is actually more like a stabilizer, trying to hold the whole thing somewhat into place. What will happen if we try to, it's at least closer. I'm being very, very wary where I put my hands. I use my leg to help assist with the jacking. That looks good. A little bit of tension. And sometimes this is just what you have to do when you're by yourself. Kind of have to figure out, okay, what needs to happen and what am I able to do by myself? There's it. We'll just jack it up a little at a time. Put our stabilizer in. Okay, you see it starting to tilt. So go to the other side. If you guys can think of a better way while watching this, let me know. I hope to never have to take this out again, but we never know. I mean, I'm very confident in my rebuild of the transfer case that it should work. Hopefully like brand new. If not, well, we'll just take it out and go from there. I'm confident. I'm not confident I'm going to get this on the first try. If I do, that'll be amazing. Stabilizer. Got to do those thigh masters. Get the legs working. Okay. Let's move our stabilizer back up. Okay, we got some nuts and bolts in there started. Make sure my mic is on. This is good. Loud. Okay. Wrong size. Figures. That's drawn up there nice and tight. That one ran down. Then we have washer, lock washer. Okay, that side's tight. Now let's go around to the other side. Let's see, I'll bring you along. You can see the other side. There you can kind of see where I'm at. Let's do that instead. Okay, just have one more bolt to get in here. All right, it is in there. Still got some bolts to tighten up on the U joint for the drive shaft. I still need to figure out a vent tube for the transfer case, but it is in there. I got the shift linkage hooked up. Wires, there's only one wire for the kickdown, it's electronic kickdown. But it is in there. The rebuild is done. I can finally check something off of this list. Let's see, where is it? There it is. Transfer case, reseal, rebuild, and we did go with a new chain. Boom. Probably next we'll look at our header and manifold, figure out which one we're going to use. Maybe fix some wiring, and then maybe we'll get the engine stabbed in. Who knows? But stick around. All right, everybody. We had a great day today in the shop. We got our transmission and our transfer case mated back together, and it is sitting back in the truck, almost under its own weight. We have a jack in the front just to keep the transmission up so it doesn't sag and everything. I got to work on the front axle. We had our vent breather kind of snap off of the differential housing, so I took that apart, cleaned it out, and unfortunately I don't have any of the vent breather tubes. So we're going to call it a night, and I'm going to run to the parts store and see if I can find some stuff or see if we can make stuff work. But again, a fantastic day in the shop. We got a lot accomplished, mainly getting the transmission and transfer case back in. That's a huge win. We'll get the front differential put back together, and then it'll be time to put the engine back in its home. Put the heart of Riggins back into Riggins, and then we can decide on exhaust. it'll be a lot easier just to put the manifolds back on. However, we're already this far in. There's no front radiator or anything. Putting headers in, now's the time to do it. Am I right? So first things first, we'll get the engine in and seated, everything bolted down, and then we will address the exhaust at a later day. We'll throw the headers up here and see how much work it'll be if they clear. Hopefully they clear that front drive shaft up to the front differential. I have no idea. I never put headers on a K20. But good day in the shop. I'm going to run to the parts store, eat some supper. Anyway, tune in for next time, Big Brain Garage, where hopefully we'll get something finally done. But again, an outstanding day in the shop. But again, a fantastic day in the shop. We got a lot accomplished.